brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brother Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, our topic there is a hot topic.
Hot topic, boy.
Yeah, the question I prepared here for
Yeah,
me.
that's some good questions.
The hot topic. Why? Because we visit in houses and the same time I go this message, this different message and different community in the same time. And have some question and believe everybody watching us in Sunnah Forward here in social media have the same question as a parents. As a parent. First question, brother.
Well, let's go into like the why we pick these topics, right?
No.
Because a lot of times we pick our topics based on the questions that we get or the stuff that we see,
No.
right? When we go out in the community, we go out to these houses, and this topic actually got to me when I was talking to a group of kids, but a group of high school kids. And when you're out and about with these kids playing soccer, you're outside having a good time with them, you have a better discussion with them than you do if you're sitting in a masjid or you're sitting in a classroom or you're sitting, in a house. Whereas, when they're out in the open, they're playing, they're sweating, they're moving. You hear stuff and they tell you stuff and they trust you with some of the stuff that they're saying that they don't even tell their parents, the things that they're telling me
Yes.
when we're out there. So this is why I brought this topic up.
Yeah, there's something very important about the masajid, the mosque here. Barely only Islamic schools you find kids in the school, but my masjid or the masajid, bombed masjid, this masajid, there's no school, barely to see children.
You know why? Because
barely to see children.
and there's a big reason for that. A lot of times the masajid doesn't have the right people to bring to learn how to bring those guys right in. You need a certain somebody. It's funny. I got a call the other day from a masjid in one of the board members in Missouri. I don't know anything about Missouri, but my brother gave the brother my phone number, and he calls me. He said, I have some questions. We're trying to make this masjid big, and we need some advice. And I said to the brother, he's talking about finances, stuff like this, and then he started talking about the community stuff, how to bring the community in. And I said, brother, you please need when you're talking about the community, you need to have the right person that knows how to deal with the community that's there, right? Don't just give some random person that has money that position to bring in the people. You need somebody who is, personable, who knows how to talk to people, who knows how to talk to the youth, who, and he asked me, he said, can you come to the masjid? Can you take a flight over to, sit down with us and talk with us? And I said, I have no problem in doing that. I said, but and this is the fun part is because it's a masjid from the ground up, right? A new masjid coming in, so you can actually start that masjid the right way. Whereas with the masjids that we have here, they're so into the way they've done these things for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that new guys coming in with the different ideas they don't like.
Yes, there is in the majority of those kind of boards, my way or the highway.
Or this is for only Palestinians, or this is only for Pakistanis, or this is and I don't, and I told the brother that I don't make that masjid a cultural masjid.
Yeah,
you make that masjid an Islamic masjid.
Let's leave the masajid now.
I know.
Leave the masajid now.
We got off topic.
Yeah, but okay. How we gonna affect our kids when you speak to the kids? Actually, the way we look at the kids, you speak to the kids. How we supposed to be according to the age also to speak to the kids? How when I look nadra, when you look at our kids, for example, regardless, my vision to my son, to my daughter, what you think?
It's the way the kid sees himself is the way that you're talking to the kid.
Oh,
right. And so when I talk to these kids and they say, well, I'm bad at math anyway, my dad always says, or my mom always says, I don't have a math brain. Well, why would you as a parent tell your kid who's 7, 8 years old? Because these kids telling me that they've been told this for a long time, 8, even 10 years old. Why would you tell a kid this kinds of stuff? Because once you put that in a kid's head that I don't have a math brain, khalas, I'm gonna focus on something else. Well, now you already blocked that path for that kid.
We're gonna have this question actually. Yeah, but when you look at the child, for the parents, when you look at the child, what's supposed to look at my child?
The way as a parent, you're supposed to be talking to your child as as a future you.
future of me.
You, yeah, like what do you want for your kid to be,
I like
right?
that.
And so when I talk to the parents about, hey, listen, this is what your kid was telling me, try talking to your child like this instead, and see how that can change
Reply, yeah,
the mood of because these kids see themselves, right?
indeed.
Their self-image now is tainted or blessed because of the way you've been speaking to your child.
True. Actually, the way I speak to my child, the way I speak to the child supposed to be also according to their
To the
mentality,
mentality, to their age level.
to age level.
100%. And we know our kids better than anybody else, right? We
Yeah.
know if I'm talking, I've seen.
No, 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 no. You say something important.
Mhm,
Do you think me,
mhm,
or actually the parents, I don't have children.
mhm.
Do you think the parents understand the mentality of the children when they speak to the children?
I would hope so, right?
I hope.
You, as a parent, you should know your child. You should know how to talk to your child. You should know the maturity level because they are. Let me kind of address that too, because a lot of times people have always said, "Well, your daughter, my daughter when she was 12." People say, "Well, your daughter acts like she's 18. She acts like because of the way
Mm,
we've spoken to
indeed,
her,
yeah,
right?"
I like that.
You know,
But sometimes it's speak to your child. You mentioned that actually before. You did something with your kids, and it's still for years they
mhm.
remember your talk.
100%.
But the parents, at the same time, I want to speak to my children after years will remember my advice.
And see, it's the way you're talking, the tone that you're using,
Huh? Huh?
the kids feel the genuinity. Like if you're a genuine person,
Mm.
genuine parent, talking to your kids in a genuine way, your kid will understand, your kid will relate to that,
Uh,
right? And that's something that you can kind of grow no matter what age level the kid is. A lot of parents will say, "Well, my kid's 15 years old. How am I supposed to change now?" Well, that's you could still change now because
yes, that doesn't matter what
it
age.
doesn't matter. And I don't care. I read these books in my degree when I was going for my degree and these, the different theorists, the therapist or the different, professionals say after five, khalas, the kid's personality is the kid's personality. Or after 12, that's it. You can't change a person's, mentality. That's not true. The good thing about us humans is we are always adaptable. We always change, right? We change when we're talking to certain people. We're changing depending on our positions and our jobs and who we're talking to. We change. We're
Indeed, yes.
constantly changing.
Uh, uh, Allah said, I mean, mentioned in the Quran, but something you just mentioned something also in the beginning that will let you go back to the
Mhm,
question.
mhm,
When as some parents,
mhm,
actually, I'm talking about Arab. I don't know non-Arab will do the same thing, but non-Arab, when he speaks to his son or the daughter, أنت فاشل, أنت you
mhm.
are a loser,
Yeah.
you are stupid, you are
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
many names.
We hear that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but do you think when that child, you are a loser, for
Yeah.
example,
Mhm.
do you feel that child become a loser too?
Yeah. Yeah. Khalas, I'm a loser. Why should I try? Why
But
should
honestly, when they call their son and Ahmar, you are
yeah.
donkey,
Yeah.
I said you are the father.
You are your
You
father.
get angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said you are Ahmar. I said you are donkey. If you call your son and Ahmar, you are monkey or whatever, you are the
Well, he's a
father.
product of you. He's a product of your mom
That's
and
mean.
mom and
You're insulting yourself.
yourself. Yeah.
But no, really, let's concentrate. Maybe non-Arab also the same thing. You are a loser. You are cannot do anything. You can understand.
Yeah.
A lot of parents, by the way, even children,
Mhm.
you cannot understand. I mean, what do you think?
It's very and these things
Can we fix it?
you can fix that. That's the thing is this as long as you've been doing that for, let's
Hmm?
say a kid's been growing up at the age of 5, 6, he's hearing this stuff. You're a loser, you're a loser, you're stupid, you're dumb from 5 until 10. So for 5 years, this kid's been hearing this stuff. And then at 15 years old, you're saying to yourself, when you're saying, yelling at your kid, why are you getting bad grades? Why are you not doing well? Well, for the last 10 years, he's heard you say he's stupid, he's a loser, he's dumb, he's not going to get
Yeah.
anything.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what do you expect to happen
You're
after
right.
after you've said this thing to this kid for such a long time? Right. And so we've kind of have to, because we come from a different generation, right? We come from a different time. You and I come from a different era where, our parents weren't really too involved. They weren't too talkative. They weren't too, pushy. They weren't too whatever it was. They were doing their own thing. They were trying to work. They're trying to make their money. I get all that from back then. We're at a time now that the generation of kids right now, we as parents have to be so much more involved. And our generation, my generation, doesn't know how to. because we weren't there. We weren't taught that, right? We weren't taught to talk to our kids. We weren't taught to tell your kids you love you, I love you. Like we don't, I'm proud of you. We weren't taught that stuff growing up because we weren't told that stuff growing up, right? It was tell us do it, and if you don't do it, you're gonna get your butt kicked.
Actually, about love, I visit a family and kids, boys here. I say, I love you. I say, by the way, my father never say I love you.
Yeah,
Never say I love you, but only my mom.
yeah. I had an issue with a Bangladeshi family where the kids didn't know if the dad liked them or not. And I went to the father and we were sitting down. I said to the father, when's the last time you said I love you? He's like, we don't say that stuff in this house.
By the way, brother and sister, Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a man came from the Arabia. He came to meet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam playing with the Fatima's kids, Al Hassan, Al Hussein, and hugging the kids and why and kissing the kids. And the man looked at him. I say, ya Rasulullah, I have 10 boys. 10 boys. I never kiss on my boy. I say, I don't know, Allah never have a rahmah, mercy in your hearts. Your heart's so harsh.
Yeah. So hard, yeah.
And Rasulullah playing with the kids. Not only that, Rasulullah will make it jama'ah. You're leading the salah. Al-Hassan al-Hussein playing in his back. In his back. And he didn't move. Playing and playing. And the Sahaba behind. I wanted the Sahaba look. I was thought Prophet Muhammad passed away. But they're not moving. Sujood, long sujood. And then Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I apologize, Rasulullah. Al-Hassan al-Hussein playing on my back. Yeah.
But if that happened here in our masjids, what would happen?
They shoot him.
But that's the difference. And that's the difference that we have to fix within ourselves. Right? We have to fix this thing in our hearts.
Please listen to this statement.
Where we if we don't fix this in ourselves, how are we going to fix our kids? How?
Yes, Umar ibn Khattab said, he said, حاسبوا أنفسكم قبل أن تحاسب.
100%.
Judge yourself before Allah will judge us. Especially for our kids.
Especially for our kids.
Yeah.
Because our kids watch, listen, and I don't care how many people, will tell me the opposite of, that's my kids, you don't understand. A lot of times we go into these homes, you don't understand. I've been dealing with this for 10 years. Well, brother or sister, if you've been dealing with this for 10 years, you're doing something wrong.
That means in his mind.
Yeah, you've been doing this, so let's try my way.
But let's be the opposite of that. Sometimes my son, my daughter, you are the best. You are best of the best. You are so beautiful. You are this praising. Do you think there's a negativity or positive?
There's
very important.
Very important. And when you talk about that as well, there has to be a balance. All right, of understanding, like our kids, we want our kids to be confident, not cocky. Right. We don't want them to be like how do you say shayf in English?
Showing off. Yeah.
And so when we constantly are telling our daughters, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so good looking. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so these things," and you're constantly saying these things, then there's no room for improvement. Khalas, they're perfect.
That means I'm relax now.
Relax. And then when they go in the real world and they start to see other people who are better than them or prettier than them or anything like that, it's a culture shock to them. They're not realizing that, okay, the world is not all about me anymore.
Yes.
So there needs to be that balance of for the way we talk to our kids, right? First of all, there's no room for calling your kids stupid. Right, that you don't say that. You don't say that. There's no reason for that.
No, we're not now. You're praising.
When I talk about balance, I'm talking about really praising your kid when it's needed, and helping your kid when it's needed.
When they need it.
And you're guiding. We're constantly guiding.
Continuous praising.
You're not continuing. No. You don't continuously praise.
Negativity to praise.
Yeah, it's very, very bad. And we see these things now where we constantly give kids awards just for coming. If you go put a kid in a race first, second, third, then you're going to give everybody else a award because they just ran. That doesn't do anything for anybody. That doesn't help the kid grow.
Really?
No, it doesn't help the kid grow at all. First, second, third, great. But if you're going to keep giving all the kids that came awards, then what are you doing? You're just, participation. That's not what we're doing here. We're balancing our kids out. We want our kids to be strong. We want our kids to be independent when they grow up. We want our kids to be confident, and we want our kids to be really good Muslims on the outside, when they're out and about, right? That's what we want. And so if we don't realize as parents how to create that balance of praise, punishment, and kind of like guidance all together, you're going to create an unbalanced kid.
I like that. Brother and sister, listen, this is very important topic here. Yeah. We love our kids, the
Of
question.
course,
To
100%.
praise. But Allah say that. أعوذ بالله من الشر وجعلناكم أمة وسطا. We make you not extreme, you're not loose. We are in the middle.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
It's a
That's
balance.
our Islam.
And this is how long ago?
1400 years
ago.
ago. 1448.
And now we have psychology classes and all these different classes that people are taking that are saying the same thing
Yeah.
that we said 1400 years ago.
Allahu Akbar.
So
Allahu
so it's
Akbar.
kind of Islam is way ahead of the game when it comes to how to raise our children.
Brother and sister, please, this statement, we're going to repeat it slowly, everyone.
100%. Islam is 1400 years
Psychology.
ahead of any type of psychology class that you can take. Anything. Islam is way ahead of the game when it comes to raising our children.
Takbir! I agree with you.
100%.
I agree with you. Then now to go master degree and PhD to be psychology,
To study what the Quran
psychiatrist.
told you. To study what the Quran and the Hadith already say.
Subhanallah.
So like we've and we live in the West and we have this mindset of raising our kids with the Western values, right? We have to teach our kids the way the West is. We have to teach our kids the Islamic way, the Muslim way.
Yeah.
You live in the West, you live in the East. I don't care where you live. You live in Africa, you live in Europe, you live in the Middle East, you live in America. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, Islam is Islam. It doesn't change from border to border.
I agree.
Right?
Doesn't matter what year.
And so when we watch these, the way that they shows teach our kids to be raised, the movies that the kids are watching, and you have to be open-minded. You have to be this. You have to be that. You have to be okay with all the different colors. You have to be this. No. Hold on. We're Muslims, and this is how we teach our kids. This is how we raise our kids. We raise our kids to be strong. We raise our kids to be, confident. We raise our kids to be good Muslims and to be a good representation of who you are as a parent.
You mentioned something important. I just watching my wife and I watching the first Muslims came to America in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
People from Africa, from Afghanistan, from America, the slaves came. Muslims. We was watching and like an ad, even YouTube ad to be if you have this 7 colors of this, what to take, and this. If you are chubby, you have what. I don't know. And the people watching this, we're not watching that. Watch, but that.
But they put it in there.
They put.
Yeah,
Allah, Brother Muhammad.
Yeah, it's
disease.
It's a disease, and we have to be smart enough to teach our kids. Listen, school's about to start, right? And one of the things I was talking to a bunch of the parents about was a lot of our kids now are going to go to the public schools and the private schools and even the Islamic schools. I said we have to understand something. Our kids are going to learn certain things. The books that they're getting from the schools are created by certain people that are in charge of what they want our kids to learn.
You're all right. Oh my Allah.
So I said, let them play the game the right way. Okay, learn whatever they, pass the tests, get grades, whatever you got to get. But when they come home, you ask your kid, what did you learn in school today? And then you go over with your kid about what you learned because they're going to take away everything little by little about what Islam is all about, what the Muslims have done, what the Muslims have achieved. We all know this in the West that they don't teach our kids the algebra is an Islamic thing. It comes from the Muslim and past, and they don't teach our kids these things. So we as Muslims have to teach our kids the right things.
Brother, I'm in charge also to visit the school. Unfortunately, I see Muslim school in public school, Muslims school. Number one, they left the Islam because the curriculum not against the Islam. The teacher themselves against the Islam. The kids left the Islam. Number one. Number two, in the school also. I'm talking about South Florida.
Yeah,
California is the worst. Now we cannot even tell I'm a man or a woman.
Yeah.
We cannot even control the kids. I know a people. I see that he's an imam. He used to be like years ago. He was an imam. Now the girls become boys and the boys become girls. He was an imam long time ago. People, I see that what did they say?
I don't know. Layla,
Yeah. So my point, brother, yeah.
So that's that. So we would go back about talking to our children and the way we talk to our kids and how what we talk about really impacts their lives, right? What we talk to our kids about really does last a long time in their heads, right? They'll remember these things. I still remember things my father told me back in the days, because of the conversations that I've had with my father. And so I do talk to my son. I do talk to my daughter. I do talk to the kids in all the masjids and all the schools and everywhere I go because I know.
Allah bless you. Jazakallah khair for that. Yeah.
It does get overwhelming sometimes because the things that I'm telling these kids or the stuff that the kids tell me, I go back to them and I tell them, hey, why don't you talk to your father about this? Why don't you talk to your mother? Get your mom's and dad's advice. Well, it's hard to talk to my mom. It's hard to talk to my dad. They don't really want to talk when. And so it becomes now my responsibility to tell this kid who's not my child, but he's a Muslim. So let me tell him what I would tell my own son. Because I talk to all of these kids as if they're my kid, right? That's how we should be talking to all of our children. You see your kids, the masjid, you're going to talk to them as if they're your kids. Because that's how us Muslims are supposed to be. We're supposed to be one people. We're supposed to help each other out. We're supposed to bring each other up. And what I noticed in these masjids, a lot of times these masjids, I was at a masjid the other day, last week Friday. I go to all the different masjids, kids running around playing while the salah was going, and I could tell the guy next to me was getting so upset, getting very annoyed, very
some people,
And I don't know these kids. I just come different masjids with my type of work to see the people, and I don't get frustrated. I don't get annoyed with these kids running. They're little kids. After salah was over, I saw the kids are still running. I grabbed one of the kids and I was playing with him and joking with him, and the dad starts laughing. The imam comes and says to me, "Do you know those kids?" I said, "No, I don't know those kids. They're Muslims. I'm assuming they're Muslims because they're in the masjid." I said, "Well, you just decided to play with them and just pick them up and play and joke with them?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" Well, nobody does this anymore. Well, why? This is what we should do.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what I do? Children, I bring the children next to me. Next to me, I have candy always. Candy. Come next to me, pray with me after I give you candy.
Yeah.
Then a lot of kids, right, and said, babies, come next to me, relax.
That's called positive. That's something that's been in Islam, and that's also something in psychology, positive reinforcement.
That's why a lot of parents bring in the kids when I do that.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned this before and today also, self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Now, I need for everyone here, Sunnah followers and social media here, you're going to share it also, inshallah. I need some statements for me as a father and with the sisters watching us right now, some statement to rebuild the self-esteem for our children.
Self-esteem is very hard to get back when you've lost it already, right? So one of the things I've always told the parents is, your kid better than anybody else.
Indeed.
Find out what your kid is good at and kind of push on that. Like you see your kid playing with Legos and making things and building things. Wow, great, good job. That's awesome. That looks so good. And then you start to say, well, why don't you do this like the way you do the Legos? Think about, you start to put those things in the kid's head because that's going to start building that kid's confidence, that kid's self-esteem. Well, I'm really good at building. I'm really good at doing this. Let me now try this, right? So if you're starting at a young age, 5, 10 years old, you can start to build that confidence up at that young age. And then now you're talking about a 15, 18-year-old. Because we talk to people, when I talk to these kids, they're 16, 18, 20, and I see the way they walk. Just the way they walk, you can see if they have self-esteem issues or if they're confident in themselves. You can see these things. We see these things because of the type of work that we do. One thing I always tell these kids is, or these guys, these older adults now, they're not even, well, to me, they're kids. Maybe to you, they're kids. But I always tell them, like, okay, what are you good at? All right, what's your niche? What's your thing? Right, what's your thing? And they tell me, I say, okay, let's focus on that. And let's build on that, whatever they're good at, that confidence booster, right? They're good at taking pictures. They're good at drawing. They're good at math. They're good at science. They're good at these things. Okay, and that's how you start. You start with what they're good at, and then you start to make, okay, so you're good with this, but you're not good with this. But why do you think of this like the way you do this?
So you rebuild the relationship,
and you can actually build that confidence back up. It just takes a little bit longer the older that kid is.
Step by step.
Step by step.
So there's some other statement also I can speak to my son, to my daughter, to raise them up to
You
be have a
know,
self-esteem,
it's
self-esteem.
it's all about showing that type of love and compassion and nourishing and that kind of guidance all at the same
Yeah.
time, right? So for instance, you got something that's going on in your house that needs to be done, and you can do it, right? You know you can do it. You know you can fix it. You know you can do whatever you got to do. Like a hole in the wall, you got to fix a hole in the wall. Take your kid to let him help you fix that hole in the wall,
Uh,
and show him and teach him and say, okay, let me see if you can read the directions. Let me see if you can do it yourself. And even if it's a not so nice job or not a perfect job, okay, that's great. That's a good job. That's great for your first time. Now let's see how you can do it the next time. Let's see how you can fix it. Let's see how you can make it better. And then you'll start to see little by little by little, you start to build that kid's inner
mm,
confidence back up, right?
I like that. What about if the children, or the question here, children actually did something wrong,
Mhm.
something wrong? How to speak with him not to break his dignity?
It's funny because us Arab, we like to yell at our kids every day,
Yeah,
every second. Ya
I,
حمار يا كلب يا زفت يا
yeah,
يعني.
yeah.
You know,
No,
we
no, but has the dignity of the kids actually, and for
yeah,
every human being,
every
but especially for our kids,
mhm,
the dignity is very important. His honor is very
yeah.
important. You did something wrong, and it's what I should do for my son not to break his dignity, to
It's
make him raise him up, to
you
fix
know
it.
when you see parents that yell on the constant level, right? We've seen parents who constantly just yelling. It becomes so much yelling that that's become the tone of the house. That the kids won't hear anymore that you're
Oh,
yelling. That's just the way my mom talks, right? When you have a friend come over to
mm,
your house and your friend comes over and hears your mom talking to you, and the kid says to you, your friend says to you, "Why is your mom yelling?" Well, that's just the way my mom talks. Well, that's she's yelling. She's yelled so much, or the dad's yelled so much that the kids don't even, you know, care anymore. It became so much
ah,
noise that خلاص, well, he's yelling, it doesn't matter. There's a way of getting things across to our
then
children.
if they break
If they
something
break
wrong,
something, they're doing something wrong. There's a way of talking to our kids about what they've done, and every situation is different. I don't know, every situation has their different way of discussing some of how to talk about it, how to fix it up, how to get it going. But if you're on that base of constant yelling, and then your kid breaks something, your kid does something, and you're still yelling at him, how is that kid supposed to know that they did something wrong? You're always yelling anyway. So that
ah,
you the tone of the house, it has to be like a constant tone, right? For us, we try to have a laughter or always joking or always messing around or always having a good time. We try to keep the house, alhamdulillah, in a positive way, right? When you come home, you want to have peace, right?
absolutely,
You
yeah.
want to have, a guy comes home from
Relaxing, yeah.
relaxing. You want to be relaxed. You want to be chill. So if you're coming into a house, and we feel it, right? When you go into the house and you feel the anger,
Patient,
the tension.
yeah.
Well, if we feel it, when we're just coming in here, what do you think the kids are feeling?
Worse.
Worse. They
Yeah.
feel it every single day, so they're always constantly on guard. Okay, what's
Mm,
next? What do I have to defend myself against, right?
yeah.
So if you can set that tone in the house first,
Uh,
set that tone as a calming, nice, relaxed area. Then when the kid does something wrong, and then you have to raise your voice a little bit, then you have to have that discussion. That kid's gonna listen.
yes. Yeah.
But again, it's all about the tone of the house.
But at the same time, Brother Muhammad is a very important question. Some parents, especially actually male and female, father and mother,
Mm.
some parents compare their children negativity to that child. To
Oh,
that child, he did this immoral for memorize the Quran. He memorized, he do this. Why not doing? They compare my son,
mhm.
my daughter to the others
Yeah, we have that a lot. I don't know if that's in all the cultures or just our
and
culture,
all the culture.
but we do that a lot where we like to compare our kids to the other kids, right? Why can't
Yeah.
you be like Abdullah? Why can't you be like Yusuf? Why can't you be like we have that thing in us that we use the other kids, their friends as their comparisons. Like we like to compare our kids, and that's one of the things I've noticed. It creates a lot of tension with now, not just your kid in the house, but also now your kid with their friend. They're not going to want
Mm.
to be that kid's friend anymore because you've pushed and pushed and pushed that kid to your kid to compare with the other kids. And all you're doing is breaking down your child.
What?
You're
What?
you're breaking down your kid every time you compare your kid to
Breaking
you're
his
breaking that
dignity.
their dignity, their confidence, their self-esteem. You're breaking all that up little by little, piece by piece. For us, it's not a matter of
Ya
comparing our
Allah.
kids. It's a matter of understanding your kid and their strengths and their weaknesses. If you go into a counseling session, right? A counselor is going to kind of mostly go towards your weaknesses. Let's fix what's going on inside of you. You're weak about this. You're this. You're that. For me, I always build on the kid's strengths, right? I
Oh,
always try to focus on whatever kids' strengths are,
yeah, I like that.
right? Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the kids heard so much stuff about their weaknesses from their parents, from their guardians, from the messages, from whoever they're seeing that they don't know what their strengths are. So if we can focus on our kids' strengths and use that as a catapult to help them build their confidence and their self-esteem, that kid will now start to want to do better in other areas.
Mm.
You start with the strength, and then little by little the weaknesses start to fade away. He'll say, well, I've been told I'm not really good at math. I'm really good at reading. Okay, great. I'm good at doing papers. I'm good at essays. Okay, great. Let's focus on that. Let's build that up. Okay, and then little by little, you're gonna start to see that kid's grade. Oh, well, I'm doing really good in English. But let me try to a little bit harder in math. Let me try to focus more on math. Let me try to push my grade up from a C to a B. And then you start to see little by little that these
That's
kids
it.
that yeah, you'll see a big change, but it takes time.
I mean, the way you speak, the voice, and sometimes the body is
Hmm.
shaking when you speak. You think that's affecting the child when my voice is strong, strong, strong. At the same time, the shaking the
Hmm.
whole body when I speak to the child.
Yeah.
That's what I'm in the war.
Yeah, we've seen this before
But do you
where
think this affecting
it
the kid
affects the kids
and affecting the human
and it
being?
affects you as a father, as a mother, whoever's doing it. It affects your chest, affects your heart, affects your life. I mean, it
But
affects your health.
and our
And
children,
our children, it affects their mentality, it affects their discipline, it affects their self-esteem, it affects their dignity. Like and
oh,
again, if you've done that so many times as a kid's growing up,
become habit.
it becomes a habit. The kid's like, ah, khalas, he's shaking again. Oh, he's
Yeah,
the
Allah.
same thing applies for when crying, right? A lot of times the moms will cry. You disappointed me, you hurt me, da da da, and the parents will cry and cry, and the mom will start to cry. The kid starts seeing the mom cry every other day or every 2 days. The kid, khalas, the tears don't mean anything anymore,
Yeah.
right? We've seen this before where
Yes, yes. But in the opposite, if I'm very calm, speak nice,
mm,
with low voice,
yeah,
low
yeah,
voice. Also, we just mentioned last week with the Sunnah Forward. Last ayah I mentioned Surah Luqman. In say Allah said,
mm,
not me. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إن أنكر الأصوات لصوت الحمير. Say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is a strong voice, a very strong voice,
mm,
yelling and yelling. Allah said, equal to the donkey.
100%. And he's right.
Allah said
We've
that,
heard this
not me.
before.
That's it.
Yeah, we've seen
That,
this. SubhanAllah,
ayah number 19.
and we've seen this when we go into the homes and we see the father who's yelling and constantly yelling, and you're like, dang, I look back at these fathers and I say, don't you feel stupid when you're yelling this much?
I mean, I suppose me as a father
Hmm.
and as a mother
Hmm.
also, when I speak to my child, I had to be moderate, low voice for the kids to understand and to love also. And
Yeah.
the body
The
actually, how
the
to
the
say,
the body language is very important,
oh,
right?
the body
The body
language.
language very very important.
Oh,
We have to understand something in law enforcement and criminal justice. We learn techniques of this de-escalation, right? To de-escalate the situations. When
mhm.
you're supposed to go to a call and you get this guy who's yelling and screaming as a person of authority, you're coming in and you have to kind of take that down a notch, right? So we have classes just to teach people how to de-escalate situations. Islam already tells us this.
This book here,
It already says
subhanallah.
talk in a low tone, right? Bring that person who's high up there, bring them down to your level.
Ya
So if
Allah.
you're coming in to your kid who's already having anxiety, who's already having an issue with his grades or whatever he did wrong, he knows he did something wrong, and then you're coming in full force, yelling and screaming, and maybe it's not a big deal, maybe it wasn't too big of an issue, or maybe he got a B instead of an A, because we've seen these problems where parents will yell at kids for getting B's instead of A's, and I get it, right? We want perfection from our children, of course, 100%. But if you're gonna yell and scream and go crazy and shake your body from a B to an A, and then the kid does something really stupid like does drugs or does something stupid, and then you do use the same yelling and screaming from that to this, where is the level of importance at? How is the kid supposed to dictate what's
Ya
important
Allah.
and what's not? So we have to explain to the parents is pick and choose your battles, and the way you want to talk to your kid, we want to make sure that our kids are going to be comfortable enough to come and tell us when there's an issue.
But something very important, Brother Muhammad, is kind of when in the voice and anger in the house. Do you think this affecting this outside the house?
100%. 100%. That our kids, whatever happens in the house comes out to outside the house, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of times, and I know as Arabs, we always say whatever happens in the house stays in the house. Or whatever happens at work stays at work, right? And so for us, we grow up, as we get older, we start to learn how to keep whatever's happening out there. And as soon as we walk into the house, we kind of just,
Yeah.
khalas, we're in peace, we're calm, we're relaxed. We don't even we try not to think about what's happening out there. Our kids are at that age where they don't know how to really keep what's happening in the house. They take those emotions, they take those feelings, they take the all the stuff that's happening in the house, they take it out there with them.
Outside.
So if you're telling your kid, man, why can't you be like Ibrahim? You got to be like Ibrahim. Well, now when the kid goes outside to go hang out with Ibrahim and go sees Ibrahim in school, I don't want to hang out with Ibrahim. I don't want to be with Ibrahim because khalas, I don't want to be with him anymore. And then Ibrahim's gonna say, what did I do? Why don't you want to hang out with me anymore? And what's your kid's gonna say? Well, my parents keep telling me that they want me to be like you. And
Oh,
if I don't hang out with you
oh my
anymore,
God.
maybe they'll stop saying that when they come home. And I've
Be
seen it.
loser, be loser.
I've seen this where kids will stop hanging out with their friends because of the comparing that the parents are doing
Ya
in the house.
Allah. Ah,
And so now that kid Ibrahim is going to go to his parents and say, "Well, Muhammad won't hang out with me anymore because his parents keep saying that they don't want they want him to be like me."
yeah, it's very sad, yeah, bro.
So you're breaking up families, you're breaking up friendships, and you're breaking up that one ummah that we're supposed to have.
So now come to the babies now.
Mm.
When if I deal with my children in the babies now like 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, because they are sponge.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever I say in the house,
yep.
husband, wife, and children together, they take it a sponge.
100%.
They can repeat again and again when they grow up. Now, when I have a children now, what I'm supposed to deal to teach my son, my daughter, in daily basis in order to adopt it a sponge and go outside and speak
Mm.
about this thing.
So one thing I will say at that age level, 4 or 5 years old, what I've noticed is, you say they're sponges. Our kids at that age, they feel our emotions more than they hear our words.
Emotion again.
They hear our emotions
Huh?
more than they hear our words. So if you are constantly with your husband or husband and wife or mother or dad, mother or father, if they're constantly going at it with each other, and maybe you're doing it in the bedroom and you're hiding it and you're talking and you're doing a great job. If you're not doing it in front of your kid, that's great. But our kids at that age will feel are able to feel
Yeah, you
that
can feel.
anger, that distrust, that the animosity, and they can feel all that stuff. So you're gonna start and think, if you're walking around your house with an angry face all the time or the upset face all the time, what do you think your kid's gonna do? Our kids at that age will mimic you. They will copy you. So if you are constantly
Yeah,
if
Allah.
you're constantly in a state of anger, frustration, depression, our kids will see that. Our kids will feel that
But
at that age.
some mother, they think the children do not do this in front of your dad.
Oh, see, and that's where you're kind of dividing I'm the cool parent and he's the bad parent. I'm the nice guy, he's the bad guy. You're dividing the parents up, and now the kid knows to do this in front of me, to talk to me, don't talk to him. You're dividing that kid up.
Actually, imagine
That's we have to do a whole thing on parenting about how to stay on the same page. That's a whole different
very
the
topic.
whole different topic on parenting, man. It's
I mean, okay, now a result of this in the household, I have to be positive and positive husband, wife,
well,
the
yeah,
parents.
yeah, parents.
But how really, really, brother? I know it's not
It's
easy.
not easy.
But there is any way for us to be positive most of the time in the house in order for my son, my daughter to adopt this positivity, not to be negative outside?
I think one of the biggest things that we have a issue with is tawakkul, right? Like
tawakkul.
to kind of leave everything in the hands of Allah. Like we allow our stress from the outside world to really impact our house. And we don't have that, even for me, I'm still working on it myself, right? We're always stressed out. We're always having a thousand things going on in our head. And then the one thing that our wives might say might set us off because we got to worry about the bills. We got to worry about the cars. We got to worry about the food. We got to, we have a lot to worry about. And so our kids, we want to tell our kids go take them to the Islamic school, and Islamic school teaches you tawakkul ala Allah, everything's in Allah's hands. But are we really practicing this? Because if we were, you would have the understanding that you did what you had to do outside. You tried your best. As long as you tried, I always tell the kids, just do your best. But make sure everything that we do our best. One of the things I was told is, you Arabs are good workers, right? We're good workers. We work hard. We work hard for everybody and anybody. Will do everything working hard. I always tell the kids, as long as you do your best, خلاص, at the end of the day, the rest is up to Allah.
But also it's very, very important, Brother Muhammad. The school, regardless Islamic school or public school, whatever school, that we teaching kids mathematics, Arabic, we teach science to be a good kids.
Yeah.
But me as a parents, etiquette, understand morals, that right or not?
That's what we're supposed to teach your kids.
Yes,
we're
I mean,
supposed to teach your
not
kids
the school.
no, the school. The school, I think parents, we put too much on the school, thinking that the school is supposed to raise our kids for us. If you're sending your kid to an Islamic school, okay, the kid should be raised the same way as from the house to the Islamic school. We should have
Yeah,
the same principles, correct or not?
indeed.
100%. But if you're taking your kid now to a public school and you want the public school to raise your kid, good luck.
No, they lose.
You're gonna lose. I apologize.
Yeah, that's really sad. But but I mean, a way actually to be a positive in the household, especially for children, also, even for adults, as far as we do your best to be a positive,
100%.
you will be outside positive.
We
The opposite, if you are negative in the house most of the time, outside will be negative as well.
So that's the thing too. A lot of times we have parents and who are so hard in the house and so mean or aggressive, and then they go outside and they're the nicest people, right? They're so nice outside to their friends. They're outside with their coworkers. They're shaking hands, doing their thing, and then they come home. They're angry. They're frustrated. But it should be relaxed. It should be the opposite,
Yes,
right?
agree.
And so we've come into these homes where I've always told the dad, and you're coming into your house, the people that you have three daughters. How would you like those three daughters to, like, what would you like them to be married to? Would you like your three daughters to be married to somebody who is really mean and aggressive and disrespectful to them? Or would you like them to marry somebody who's a good Muslim, who's a good guy, who's going to treat them like they should be treated, like queens?
Yeah.
And then, of course, they always say the same thing. Oh, no, they should be treated right. Well, how are you treating them when you come into the house? Because that's what they are going to know. That's what they're going to think is normal.
You're right.
And when you say these things to these dads, it takes a couple of days, I think, sometimes for them to
Takes time
to really understand what we just said. We're not, and I'm not disrespecting fathers, right? Because it's tough. I mean, please don't think I'm being disrespectful to the dads or to the parents. What I want people to understand is the way we want the daughters to be married to, who we want our daughters to be married to, we should be acting out to our daughters how a man should be.
Yes.
How we would like our daughters to be married to a guy like this. So the way you're treating your wife is the way your kids are watching. And so your daughters are seeing this.
Oh.
So when you're talking to your wife in an angry tone or a mean way and you guys are constantly on a chaos, like we call it the chaos, life. They have to live in chaos. Your daughters now are witnessing this. Your sons are seeing this. So when your son marries a daughter or marries somebody else's daughter, he's gonna act like you. He's gonna act like that father. The daughter is gonna expect that man to act like their father. And so when she gets a good guy who's treating her right, treating her good, treating her very well, she's not gonna know what to do with that.
Ya Allah.
So it's very it's very hard to really explain to fathers, we can't raise our kids the way we were raised. We have to raise our kids the way we need to raise them now at this different time.
Yes.
The way we talk, the way we act, the way we walk. You want your daughters to say, man, how am I supposed to find a guy like my dad who treats my mom so well? That's the kind of question that you want your daughter to be asking you, right? Because that's coming from a good home.
No, I agree, I
You know?
agree. Yeah, but when I was in the hospital, I was in a coma, and so for was actually Saleh knows that. When I wake up, I see in a whiteboard two statements, Arabic and English. Arabic, خليك متفائل. English, be optimistic. I look, and then I'm out. And the آية من القرآن سورة البقرة وعسى maybe something bad is good for you, maybe good for bad. سورة البقرة. When I look this ayah and this be optimistic, I become optimistic until now. I try to be more optimistic.
You have to be. You have
Yeah,
to.
it's especially when you're optimistic in the house with your spouse. Definitely outside
100%.
you're positive. At least everybody we, not only that. Rasulullah, our example, he is akhlaq. Allah said in Surah Noon, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You are in a great manner.
Yeah.
That if we follow Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
We have like two.
I mean, the way I speak to my children is very important. How I speak to impact everything I say. We apply it outside.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So
I think one thing we have to remember too is that it's a battle out there, right? Our kids are going to go out in the world right now for school when school starts and out there for the jobs. It's a battle out there, even for like, our my age group where we're constantly around the non-Muslims, around people that are doing things that we don't do, talking the way we don't talk. We it's a battle. It's a constant battle
but
outside of the house. We don't want to have a battle in the house, right? So we
I
want.
love this statement. Please repeat again and how to fix it. It's very important.
It's very important to understand that the battle outside when our kids are going outside, they're battling the haram, they're battling the bad things, they're battling the stuff that we don't do. We don't want our kids to come home to battle us as parents. We want our kids to come home and be a safe place for them to come and talk.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a comic, but I can't wait to come home. We want our kids to say, I can't wait to come home. Right. And we see that even on, when we take a vacation or something, my kids will, oh, I just want to go home, Baba. I just want to go home. That's what we want our kids. We want our kids to be like, I just want to come home. And we want our kids to also come home and tell us the battles that they did out there.
So, yes.
We want our kids to say, Mom, I was out there and David told me that he was going out with Rachel and, all this kind of stuff. And then you, as a parent, explain, well, we don't date. Do you know why we don't date? Yeah, I told them this. I told them this. Yeah, as a Muslim, this is why we don't do things.
Yes.
You want to be able to have that conversation with our children.
Yes, yes.
If they're out there battling and fighting and trying to stay away from all the haram, and then they're going to come in home and hear the husband and the father and the mother battling and fighting. When is that kid going to have time to come and talk to you guys about the battles they just did?
You mentioned something very important before. I repeat it again before the school start. A lot of people, kids actually, regardless of what age, even adult, they have a lot of struggling in the house and the parents not listening, but they go outside, the teacher, the friend, the colleagues, they listen.
And so if our kids aren't home and we're not listening to them, they're gonna go outside and find somebody to listen to them, or they're gonna go on social media and they're gonna find somebody else who's going
the whole world watch.
The whole world watches, and so the new.
Oh my Rabb.
And I know this is a little bit off topic, but let me tell you guys something. One of the trends that's happening right now is where our kids are now recording the conversations that's happening in the house with their phones down. So you don't see what's happening, but you hear the tones of the dad, of the mom. You hear
really?
Oh yeah, we hear these things, and you see the comments. Oh, girl, get out of that house. Oh, leave that house. Oh, you're 14. Wait 2 more years, and you can get your own place. This thing right here, this phone that we have right here is so dangerous that if we're not talking to our kids, we're not talking, explaining things to them, they're gonna find somebody who's gonna tell them what they want to hear. And this is where this is now where we get to the point of, and again, this is a little bit off topic, but this is where we get now the danger zone, right? If you have a daughter and you're not talking to her, she's gonna find a guy who will talk to her.
Yes.
All right. And that guy might be, your daughter might be 17 years old or 15 years old. That guy that she's gonna talk to might be 35 years old or 40 years old. And then he'll send messages saying, listen, your mom and dad they don't care about you. Your mom and dad had their own problems.
Actually,
I'll take care of you.
In our community, She become 18 years. Her father and mom and community always fight. When become 18 exactly, they left the house.
Wow.
And unfortunately, they marry non-Muslim.
100%. And this is the thing that happens now is our kids start to see and hear the rules, right? When they go outside the community, when they go outside the school. Oh, when you turn 18, you're an adult. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to listen to your parents anymore. That's the
So the key, our house supposed to be peace.
it's a safe. It's supposed to be a safe place. It's
You know
supposed to be.
what is in Arabic بيت called second in the Quran actually. Second, Allah said, husband, wife, second, relax, joint, tranquility,
100%.
peace. That Allah said that.
Yeah. And this is something that we've now again, 1400 years ago, we were told this. 1500 years ago. Now it's in the psychology books. It's in the parenting books. It's like it's all Islam is all over the world. They can't stop it.
So before we finish, brother, us as a parents, number one, we have to be positive.
100%.
Also, me as a parent, I have a strong self-esteem, not low self-esteem. Be dignity. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Surah Al-Imran, يعني Allah the better than any other nation as a Muslim. Allah said that the best nation Allah created after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are alhamdulillah. But of course, we memorize the Quran, but not everyone understand the Quran. Alhamdulillah, Sunnah forward try to teach Sister Layla and I, we're teaching the ayat of the Quran and apply it in our life. But at the same time, before we finish, brother, really positive. You always mention that, and I like that. Let's be positive.
You have to be positive in the house, and I
think how to no I know, but how to be. I have negativity in my house. I don't. But if we have negativity in the house, I have some kind of problem. I have low self-esteem. I really want to make us a dignity as a Muslim. Number one, I have a strong self-esteem. I be inside this world in the house and outside, how to make in peace.
So if you're talking about now parents and family members who have been living like this for a while, it takes a while to change. A lot of it's going to take some time.
But you have a step.
You have to take step by step. A lot of times when we go to these houses and we tell the parents, let's try something new. Right? Let's try the smiling effect. Right? Let's try the smile.
I like
right?
that.
Instead of being miserable all the time, let's fake a smile. Right? Let's just fake that smile and try to see what happens. And then within 2 days, 3 days, you get that call from the mom. It's not working. Yeah, sister, it's you talking about 15 years of you being miserable and your husband always fighting. It's going to take some time to fix what you've already embedded in the children. It takes time to fix up what has been happening. If you're a new parent and if you're just starting out, you have the power to balance out what you want in the house. Do you want anger, frustration, and hatred? Or do you want love, compassion, genuinely confidence, and self-esteem? Like, what do you want out of all this?
I have a strong self-esteem.
So, and I talk to the fathers as well. A lot of times with fathers, let me kind of just talk to fathers directly real quick. If you're a soft guy, because there's a lot of soft men out there, just know that you're going to have soft sons, right? And so we as fathers, we tend to kind of get lazy after a certain age. We don't want to do anything anymore. We don't go out. We don't play soccer. We don't play with our kids. We just want to come home and we just want to be complacent, right? We want to go. We want to get home. We want to sit on our couches and we just want to get on our phones
until you go to the grave.
Until you go to the grave. Until you go to bed. Whatever. So don't expect anything from your children, from your sons and from your daughters, to have no respect for you, to not want to talk to you, because that's what they're gonna know. And one of them, actually, two of the fathers I spoke to, I told them, you have to be more of a zelama, more of a man, and show your son how to be a man, right? Take your kid to the gym, work out with your kid a couple of times. Take your kid out for, a drive around the block and talk to your kid by himself, man-to-man conversations, right? I've done this on numerous occasions with my own kid. Father and son talks. Go out to the movies. Go somewhere. Go to the mall. Walk around, and talk to your kid about what he's seeing online, what he's seeing at school. Get him away from the mom, get him away from the daughter, get him away from the other kids, and give that individual that time. As a father, it's tough.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we,
but you have to start.
But we have to start. And so once you start that, you're going to start to see a change in your life and in your kid's life.
And they be more relaxed.
And it's not just that. Like, I told parents fake the smile. You start to see the dad coming home, wanting to come home and smiling
Yep.
because he says in his head now it's trained. I'm going to take out Muhammad. Me and Muhammad are going to go out here. We're going to do this. We're going to talk. He's going to be now, but the father is going to become more safe in the house
Yeah.
and more calm in the house. The mom's going to become more safe and more calm in the house. Our kids will develop now more confidence, more self-esteem because now they have a real male role model
In the house.
in the house.
So that's a beautiful advice, brother. Very important to apply what Brother Muhammad said.
Sure.
I'm learning, by the way. It's very important in our life, very short. The school started very soon. Soon, may Allah Azza wa Jalla give guidance
And
to our
protect our
kids. Ya
kids.
Rab. Yeah. Do you best to your best, inshallah.
Inshallah.
With this topic, we're going to continue more and more until the
Inshallah.
school started, inshallah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give more success and more guidance to our kids and all the Muslim community. Ya Rabbi Ameen. We stop here. And if you have a question, Sister Anisa or anybody else, or comments, Brother Muhammad here before, we still have a few minutes, inshallah. Speak up, inshallah.